Okay then. Whew. Okay. Well, that just happened. Eren is, he's going balls deep into this, isn't he? He's not really, he's not pulling any punches here, or whatever. You know, I don't know what I expected. I guess I was, because, you know, at the end of the day, this is the main character, the protagonist of the story. So I'm thinking, you know, alright, well, let's see where he's going with this. He might pull something out at the last minute, and I guess he still could, but it's really looking to me anyway like we've already passed that point of no return like a while ago, okay? So first, I just wanted to ask you guys, how did you feel about Eren Yeager at the start of this story? Because I did not care for him very much. I thought back then, I didn't hate him. I just felt like he was a bland main character. I just thought, okay, you know, he wants to kill the Titans because of his mom and everything, and, you know, free humanity, and like, all right, fine, whatever. Just didn't seem that interesting to me as an MC. If I was going to pick one of my favorite characters, like at the very beginning, I'd go Levi all the way, or even Armin. And don't laugh at me for that, all right? Armin is freaking OG, okay? But, yeah, I mean, Eren, honestly, I think the best thing that Isayama could have done was, you know, flip him on its head and make it like, no, he's now going to be like the enemy of everybody. That was something that was really cleverly done and really made me have a whole new kind of, I don't know if respect is the right word. Can you really respect somebody that's literally trying to stomp all life off the surface of the planet? I don't even really know if you can, not that, but more interest, if nothing else. Alright, so Attack on Titan chapter 123. We finally get Eren's plan, his ultimate plan, at least from what we can see so far, okay? It's obviously not in line with what Zeke is doing. We figured that much already. But we really didn't know where this was going to go, you know? Considering the fact that he's in the coordinate, and he has access to Ymir, and, you know, all this crazy stuff that originates from this realm that's possible, it's just like, alright, well, what are we actually gonna do here? Because Zeke wanted to do the sterilization plan. It seemed like, okay, that was completely within the bounds of possibility for Ymir to do that, you know, for just the wish, the desire of the royal blood to be like, let's make all Eldians sterile, so they can't have kids, and that just stops the cycle right there. That seemed feasible. So, I don't know if I was thinking, like, I was thinking, because I love the time loop theory. I still love the time loop theory, so I thought maybe that's gonna get involved in some way. And, no, in this chapter, it basically double, tripled, hextupled down on this. It just like, nope, the rumbling, it's happening, it's going down. This isn't like a feint. This is not like the theory that Armin had a few chapters ago where he was talking to everybody in the prison. Armin was basically like, hey, I think this is what Eren's trying to do. Obviously, Eren's not going to do the same thing Zeke wants. Instead, he's just using Zeke, and what's going to happen is Eren is going to awaken the few hundred Colossus Titans that are in the Shinganshina walls, like the outer walls of Shinganshina. Few hundred Titans there that are huge. That'll be enough to kind of be the deterrent, you know, to scare away Marley and the other, you know, leaders of the countries that are around there, to be like, oh man, check this out, you know, Paradise Island's got these huge titans there, and sort of like a warning shot. You know, if I was going to put it likely like that way. Like, you have these walls that have millions of titans, and the fear of the rumbling has already been around the world. Like, the Marleyans were always afraid of the rumbling, which is why they didn't do just a mass invasion beforehand. But there's a difference of being like, okay, just this is a theory that the rumbling could happen, and like, oh no, this is actually happening. So Armin's idea was like, alright, he's going to awaken some of these titans, and then that's going to scare the world into not messing with Paradise Island and the Eldians for about 50 years or so. Armin guessed that. So, no. Now, we don't exactly see in this chapter how this rumbling activates, like if all of the titans are waking up at once. It seems to be kind of like a chain effect, where the outer wall of Shinganshina is awakening first, and it's like kind of like a... and then it hits the main wall, Maria, and then after it's like, and then it slowly goes down that wall. But for all we know, the Titans could be awakening in Wall Sheena and Wall Rose right now as well. You know, they could be all awakening at once, because Wall Maria is definitely being affected by this. It's not just the outer wall there, so that's definitely not what Eren's going with here. It seems to be, like I said, he's octupling down on this, alright? So, Eren's perspective here, you know, it's something that, it's very Eren. I mean, like, the basic idea is that the Eldians, he sees it like no matter what they do, they try to do this like a diplomacy way or try to ally with other nations. Eren just does not see a conceivable future where the Eldians are free from discrimination and they're no longer being used by Marley and they're no longer being viewed as devils. I think Eren, it just gets to the boiling point there where it's just like, there's no way that my people can live in this world, you know, as long as there's other people. As long as there's other people trying to, you know, manipulate us and, you know, look down on us and subjugate us. So, you know what? The only solution here is everybody else has to die. Everybody, like 99% of the world has to get stomped into oblivion, so the only people left are my people, the Eldians, the descendants of Ymir, and then we can, that's the only way we can live in peace and harmony, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm the only one that can do it, so I'm doing it. And then we're locking in. I feel like he already pushed the button for that. I mean, with that last panel, he's like, you know, I'm doing, you see the image of Eren there. It's just like, no, this is no longer like, should I do this? Should I? I don't know. The button's right there. This is intense. This is intense. No, Eren already pushed the damn button. Okay, he already did it, right? I saw a lot of comparisons to Lelouch from this, actually. I was reading some comments from the chapter, and a lot of people were comparing him to Lelouch here. And now, it's been a while since I've seen Code Geass. In fact, it's probably overdue for a rewatch from my perspective, because last time I've seen it was probably like, I was in college, like 2012 probably, last time I rewatched that series. But just to point a few things out, it is similar in the sense of like, okay, you have a main character in Lelouch that, you know, basically took over the world, and so everybody hated him at the very end, but that was all part of his master plan, the Zero Requiem, so it can make it look like, oh, okay, this side hates my guts, this side hates my guts, the citizens hate my guts, so when I die, then that sends the world into a whole new era of peace and reconstruction and harmony. And in Code Geass, that's what happened. Now, whether or not you want to say that's a little bit of a naive message is kind of, you know, it's not really applicable here anyway, because I don't see that as what Eren is attempting to do. I don't see it. And even, like, back during the Marley arc, when they were in the internment zone, and you had Willie Tybur there, and he was talking about how, you know, our enemies are not really all of, you know, the people that live on Paradise. Our enemy is Eren Yeager, because he's the one that has the power, the Founding Titan. Like, he's our main enemy. We should all be focusing on him. Yeah, that's the case. But that doesn't seem to be the situation here, because even if Eren were to die right now, first off, like, he could have just, you know, ended it a while ago, and then that would have, you know, if he was going to do the Lelouch thing. But no, he's already, like, the rumbling's happening. It's going down now. Like, the Titans are in the process of waking up and stomping all over the damn place, and Eren himself seems to have turned into some giant dinosaur skeleton titan. Not really sure what's up with that thing yet. That's gonna be a whole other thing. But yeah, the rumbling's already happening. So even if, like, Mikasa or Levi were to come, like, Levi comes back from the dead and slices down Eren in the next chapter, and he dies right there, and all of the other Colossus Titans just stop what they're doing and just fall to the ground and just whatever. Even if that happens, there's no way that the world is going to be like, oh, okay, well, Eren's gone, so now peace and harmony can... No! No! Because they just almost face the end of the world with these Titans waking up. Marley and the other countries of the world, you know, they're just going to be like, alright, that was so damn close to an apocalypse-level event. That was so damn close from the whole population of the world just getting wiped the hell out. We got to exterminate every Eldian now. Like, we cannot even, like, yeah, sure, Eren Yeager might be dead, but we cannot even risk the possibility that another Eren Yeager might be born somewhere, you know, like a disciple of Ymir, and then someday might grow up and might try the same thing all over again. we can't even if, like, the Colossus Titans that Eren awoke, they just collapsed and just, you know, turned to, like, ash or whatever, just poof, and just gone. This is still a fear. This would still be a threat. Like, no, there might be more hiding underground somewhere. Like, we can't risk this. All of them gotta die. You know, we just gotta bomb the ever-loving crap out of Paradise Island after that. So I don't see this. I see this being like, you know, there's parallels there with Lelouch in the sense of just like being a main character that, you know, flipped on its head and did that kind of stuff. Although Lelouch at the very end, you know, he was like, oh, this was my plan, so I can make peace, but I have to sacrifice, I have to be a martyr for that, and everybody hates me, but it, you know, increases prosperity in the world, so that's what he wanted. Then, of course, the whole thing with his sister, but I'm not here to talk about Code Geass. It is a great series, though, I spoiled the ending, but if you want to go check it out. But no, so no, that, I don't see that going down, like, because that doesn't seem like Eren's plan, and I honestly think that would water it down, considering this is how Eren has been, I mean, honestly, since even before the time skip happened, but ever since the time skip, obviously, you've seen this coming with Eren, and his discussion with Reiner he had, you know, back in Marley and everything. It's just like, no, he's not gonna try to, like, you know, flip this on its head and being like, oh, I'm awakening all the Titans, but what I'm actually trying to do is, no, what he's actually trying to do is pretty face value what he's attempting to do. Now, is he going to succeed at this? I think he honestly is. That would be... going back to the beginning of Attack on Titan and where we're at right now at the end, with all of the Titans stomping out literally every other human being on the planet that is not an Eldian, and then the Eldians themselves just start over on Paradise. You know, they probably don't have the walls anymore, but they have this world is their Garden of Eden, so to speak. It's like the world is their oyster. They could do whatever they want with it. That could call back to the final page of Attack on Titan that Isayama drew, like, you're finally free now. You know, that page has taken so many... And he knew what he was doing with that. When he released the sketch... And he's just like, this is the last panel of the series. He knew this was going to be taken in so many different ways. I mean, just the ways that I've interpreted this over the years. Like, oh, it's going to do a time loop thing, so we're going to go back to the past or whatever. It's going to be like a futile thing where it's like, yeah, you're free, but not really. Now it has a whole other meaning where it's like, yeah, you're finally free now, in the sense that the Eldians are the only ones left on the planet. There's no one else to subjugate us. There's no one else to enslave us. There's no one else to try to attack us and take away what we have. It's just us. And by the way, just in terms of like a population number thing, I was kind of looking into it to see if this would be feasible, because there's always a thing is like, okay, well, if everybody else on the planet gets wiped out except for the Eldians, how many Eldians are there? That might be a little bit of a genetic bottleneck there at some point, right? From what we can understand, humanity inside of the walls is around 1 million, and I'm estimating here, it's not exactly 1 million, but it's around 1 million, and as a parallel to our Earth, I basically looked up the population of our planet around 1910, which seems to be like around the era, like Marleyans, like kind of like World War II level technology, kind of, I mean, not World War II, World War I technology. If they had World War II technology, they'd be like, launch the nukes! You know, like, fire them! Like, that would be, okay, well, maybe, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Minor tangent, but going back to what Armin said, Armin was just like, you know, if he releases, you know, a few hundred of these Colossus Titans, you know, 50 years would be a good deterrent. But I think Eren even knows, like, okay, 50 years, but that might work, you know, for a deterrent for a little bit, but eventually, from what we've seen with Marley and their military technology and all the other military technology of the countries we haven't even seen in the world yet, you know, eventually they're gonna get to the point where they, you know, the Colossus Titans aren't as much of a threat as they were. So all you're doing is just prolonging this. All you're doing is just pushing it back further and further and further. It's kind of like in our world, whenever, like, we make treaties or things, like, well, this treaty will go on for about 150 years. Then what happens? Well, we'll be dead, so who cares about it at that point? Eren doesn't, and especially because he has the future sight, he's more privy to this than anybody else. He's more aware of this issue. He's like, all we're doing is just pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. Screw it. I'm ending it. I'm doing the thing that I gotta do to ensure that the Eldians are safe. that's what I'm doing. I'm ending the world, essentially. But yeah, so that's the situation with that. But no, yeah, the world right now, at least in terms of Marley technology, around World War I era. So I looked up what the population was back then, and it was around 1 billion. That just proves how much, like, you know, industrialization has, like, been a boom to the population. If over, like, around 100 years ago, we were around 1 billion, and now we're, like, 7.6 billion in our current human population, right? So that's crazy. But yeah, so, you know, if there's around 1 million Eldians, and if there's, like, 1 billion, you know, humans on the planet, that would be, like, 0.1% of the whole population. That's a lot of, those Colossus Titans, they're gonna have to stepping on them. That's gonna happen. It's gonna be a while. But if they succeed, then yeah, you have 1 million humans left. I think that would be good enough to, that's a good enough genetic diversity there to keep the population afloat without any too big issues there. You know, I would question what the result on the Earth would have, you know, for all these Titans stepping on everything. You know, the fields would be crushed and everything. I mean, I guess not entirely impossible. And once again, you have less humans, so you wouldn't need the entire world to work with here. Most of it would just be, you know, it would regrow eventually, as with anything. There's this world-ending disaster, and then, you know, the world would be pounded flat like a pancake for a while, but then eventually, you know, the forest would regrow and stuff. My question is, what's up with the oceans? I'm always imagining, like, oh yeah, these Colossus Titans or Colossal Titans are just, like, stomping all over the world. You know, they don't need to breathe, so I guess they can just walk underwater, but they need sunlight to move, but these are special Titans, I guess, so it doesn't matter. I just imagine them all going into the ocean, like, and then just, can you imagine being on a beach in some far-off land, some far-off country, some little kid playing on a beach with a bunch of seashells, making a sandcastle, and then you just see, like, slowly a Colossal Titan head emerge from the ocean and just... you know? And then they just continue the rampage. You know, everything would be pounded flat for a while, everything would be wiped out, but eventually, you know, the animals would survive, I'm sure. You know, but well, maybe not. I don't know exactly how horrible. There's a lot of Colossal Titans here. There are millions, tens of millions of these damn things, so, you know, maybe it would be. But at the end of the day, maybe it's like Paradise would be the only place, maybe that's the name of the island, that's like a double meaning there, like Paradise, in the sense that at the end of the story, the entire world's gonna be decimated, no life can exist, except for that one island, and that's where the Eldians live. But yeah, I mean, like, from Eren's perspective, I can kind of see his reasoning here of why this is the only way to get it done. I'm just trying to figure out a way that this could end without the world getting destroyed, and, like, the only way I can really think of is, like, let's say Eren dies, and that, you know, turns off all the Colossal Titans, or maybe not even turn off, just, like, they don't die, they just, like, stop and then freeze, and then maybe, you know, they can re-harden into the walls or something like that, but I don't think that's gonna be the situation. I don't think after the walls are falling down, they're gonna be built back up again. That's kind of, I think, opposite of what Isayama's going for here. I think the walls are falling down, and that's symbolic of just, like, you know, it's over. The restraints are gone, they're lifted, the devil, you know, Eren became what the entire world feared the Eldians were at large. He became a devil that will bring about the end of days. You know, that's what Eren is now embodying in full context. So I don't think Eren's going to survive the end of the story, but I also don't think this rumbling is going to cease. But, you know, let me know what you feel about this, because this is endgame level stuff, and it's just like, yeah, I'm sure that they're gonna realize pretty quick that it's like, there's no way we can fight against all these Titans, so we have to go after Eren. So, effectively, yeah, the final boss of this story, I mean, you could kind of seen this coming for a while, but the final boss of this story, it's gonna be Eren himself. It's going to be his friends, it's gonna be, you know, Mikasa and everybody teaming up to try to take down Eren. Levi is probably going to reappear. We're gonna get more information on whatever the hell Eren turned into with that giant skeletal structure that's like twice or 3 times the size of a regular Colossal Titan. You know, the largest Titan that we've seen in the story, meaning he's the biggest threat we've have to face at this point. Who's going to be the one to actually take him down? I mean, I would prefer it Mikasa, because just her character arc and everything. I mean, Levi would be cool to see him slice him down. And I don't think he's dead yet. He's going to come back in a big way. He's going to pop in out of nowhere. But if it's going to be somebody, it would have to be either Mikasa or Armin or both. But, you know, like I said, even if killing him does stop the rumbling, that's not going to, like, lead to everybody just standing around all the countries holding hands and singing Kumbaya. that's gonna let the entire world be extremely fearful of what the Eldians are. And yeah, it might be a deterrent for a little while. It might be like, all right, we're all gonna, like, at the moment, Marley's gonna pull out, and it's like, okay, we're all gonna pull out for now, and they're gonna go away for a little while and be terrified of what almost happened. But that's not gonna last forever, you know, a couple of decades, you know, when the next generation pops up, they're gonna be like, all right, well, this rumbling almost destroyed the world a couple decades ago. That just means that we have to go in and wipe them out before another Eren Yeager is born. And, yeah, so if it does lead to peace, the peace is going to be extremely fleeting. It's not going to last very long, so, yeah, I mean, the end of this manga leads to the end of the world. I mean, that's an impactful message, if nothing else, you know, and at the beginning of the story, you'd think, like, oh, these Titans are gonna, and, you know, yeah, it's a good parallel to that, because at the beginning of the story, when everyone was living in the walls, we had, you know, the fans, and also the people living in the walls had no idea that there were humans outside. They didn't even know they were on an island. They were just like, okay, you know, all humans have been wiped out by the Titans beyond the walls. This is the last bastion for humanity. Wouldn't it be insane if that's actually how, what leads to the end of the story? Is like, there's no walls anymore, but outside of this island, this perimeter, there is no more life, and we know this because Eren was the devil that wiped it all out, so we could be safe. So yeah, what do you guys think about this? Comment below. And thanks for watching. I've been getting into more Attack on Titan content as of late, as the series is winding. I was gonna say winding down, but winding up would be definitely more of an applicable term there for the end of the story. Thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Later.